Yo, what's up, everybody? Jill, how Sunday Children's Enlightening Minds Enterprise to shift your perspective. Peace and blessings to you on this Sunday. And I want to take a moment of your time to explain to you what Enlightening Minds Enterprise is all about and what Gerald Hassan, the Children's to shift your perspective is all about. And that is the broadening of perspective. I think we underestimate just how significant, our perspectives play, how significant that role is, how impactful our perspective is when it comes to the way we interact with others, the things that we do, the things that we don't do, the goals we set, goals we don't set, so on and so forth. I mean, regardless of what we believe, what we don't believe, what we see is true, not true, so on and so forth. It has a lot to do with the way we even affected emotionally. And so, my thing is that once I began to realize that myself and looking at my own life path and the things that I indulged in the way I was with society and people, it just really began to resonate with me in a way that where it basically placed me where I am today. It always had me trying to figure things out, always trying to answer certain questions and so on and so forth. And I think that, one of the things that I see as a seemingly, I would say like a prevalent, I guess for lack of a better way of putting it, what I would see is as one of the areas in our lives socially that seemingly everybody has in common is our desire to enhance the gratification or the time spent, the pleasures, the results of our relationships, whether it be intimately or not. And it just, when you just think about, the world at large, many of our issues are, it's just with another human being. Our issues are with other human beings, and it can be, and think about this here. Even when you think about our success, our lack of success, our financial position, just so on and so forth, it has a lot to do with the way we are able to interact with other people, how well that we are doing that or not, And it's unfortunate that we live in a type of society and a type of culture that doesn't cultivate the health of a society, the health of a community, the health of a people, or the health of a family. We stay in a type of culture that is quick to dismantle, is quick to disrupt, quick to cause division and separate. And so if you look at everything around us and you think of many different dynamics or any kind of example you want to think of, if you look at if there's a problem in that scenario, in that example, a lot of the time you will have to, a lot of times you'll see that problem has a lot to do with the way we interact with each other. Let me tell you something. Perspective is a very personal thing. It's the way you personally see something. It's the way you personally feel about something. It's the way you personally interpret something. The way it has a lot to do with just your personal thing. And understanding that your perspective is shaped and molded by your experiences in life. The way you are able to navigate through them or not. The way someone's able to, the way other people have interacted in your life as a child on up. A lot of that shapes your perspective because as we grow up, we begin to subscribe to ourselves different schools of thought, different principles that we're going to live by, live on, and those principles a lot of times shape each step, or better yet, it fuels or has a lot to do with each step that we take from that point that we made we decided to stand on that principle to the point that we no longer stand on it or whatever, right? Or until we die, and so some people are able to graduate and evolve past certain principles, and some don't. Some die living on that principle. And I believe that, one of my mottos is that live and let live. That's one thing I've embarked upon a few years ago, is to live and let live. And my reason for saying live and let live is to say this here, that if the way you're living works for you, if it's conducive towards where you're trying to go, the things you desire, the things you want in life, if it brings you the kind of results that you desire, I mean, so be it. I mean, it's your life. But I believe that another individual has a right or a duty to say something, or even maybe do something to interrupt that, if your way of living interrupts or transgresses over to another individual's life. You know, even kids, sometimes even our own kids, because I believe that if the way you live it goes against kind of, I don't want to say culture, that may be too broad of a way of putting it, but man, this piece is a little bit tricky, but I'm just gonna say it, and maybe we can break this stuff down later, but I'm gonna say it, and because it's hard to explain it for a broad amount of people to interpret it and understand it in a way that I want it to be understood, without addressing each and every individual's way of looking at what I'm about to say. But I believe that even when it comes to kids, we should be able to interrupt that live and let live principle or law if the way that they are living doesn't actually give that child an equal or balanced position to decide for themselves if that's something that they want to incorporate in their life. Honestly, religion can be looked at that sometimes. You know, of course, many people get older and, you know, go change their religion and go do something else, or they don't even believe at all. But some things aren't as easy. Some cultures that may exist in one's home isn't so easily abandoned, because it is so entrenched into the psyche and subconscious of that person, and it will affect that person for many, many years. And I think that, you know, again, that's something that a group or a community would have to sit down and come to terms with in regards to what is considered to be a issue that is worthy of being disrupted, of disrupting someone's live and let live law, you know. But not to go too far into that, but that's my thing, and I believe that if we can just stop being so opinionated, though, you know, and what I was particularly speaking of is not necessarily is geared around an opinion. It would have to be more scientifically proven. If we're going to object something, it needs to be more scientifically proven, like the results are like 99%, you know, accurate. You're going to get that. You do 1, 2, and 3, you're going to damn near get the same result every time. You know, it has to be that kind of scientific result. So I believe at that point we should be able to disrupt something. But just in regards to, just because I feel like, you know, damn, why he or she look like that? Why they always mad? Why they always sad? Why they always whatever? You know, to me that's a waste of mental energy, a waste of emotional energy. So my thing again is to try to equip us with a natural, instinctive ability to correct ourselves in regards to how we grew up thinking like that. Because if we really be honest and look at things, it doesn't help us socially. It doesn't help us as an individual. It doesn't help us collectively in a community. It doesn't help us collectively as a nation. And that's one of the reasons why this nation, while it may be perceived to be one of the most powerful, it is only because of our consumer nature. You know, we consume probably more than anybody, but it can be more powerful if we was actually working as one body. But we don't work like that. And I truly believe that was the design of human creation, was to work like one body, like how your body works to keep you alive. I believe that the human creation was designed to work as one body to keep the human creation alive. You know, and we don't work like that. We fell into this selfish inclination that come from the law of self-preservation. and we begin to subjugate others as a result of that for our own personal benefit. And so if you think about and if you think about just what I just said in regards to our social health, you think about the road race, you think about all of the, because it's one thing to be on the winning side of a gunfight, right? It's one thing to be on the winning side of a fist fight. It's one thing to be on the winning side of a financial battle. But it's another thing when you're on the losing side. And that's the thing. Someone has to lose in those scenarios. So if one cannot celebrate and appreciate the loss like they celebrate and appreciate the gain, then it's something to be critically and seriously looked at. And so that is my desire, and of course it is a very large work. It's a very, very, very compounded and critical and intricate, and it's a very detailed. It's like dismantling the body and fixing everything in it, and like rebuilding everything in it to get it like where it needs to be. But it can be done. We can all become like the food that we, are gravitating towards eating, like the vegan lifestyle or electric food. We can all, each as a human being, become that to the society to help make the society healthy again and put it in a position where, is thriving in the way that we should be. Everything starts with a thought. Everything starts with one step. Everything starts with one word, and that's what I believe is my life purpose, and that's what what I was created to do, what my creation was designed to do. I'm here to fulfill my obligation, and it may not be realized until many decades or even centuries after I'm gone. But again, I don't believe it's never one person's duty or obligation to bring a thing into fruition by itself or herself. Again, that goes against what I was just speaking on. But again, that's what Enlightening Minds Enterprise is about. That is what your Hassan Children is about. That is what that's what my videos be about. Doesn't mean that I've gotten it all figured out. Doesn't mean I'm perfect. No, it doesn't. For people who personally know me, they're always going to be the most critical to you. But let me tell y'all something in closing. A person's constructive criticism is good. But if a person isn't a supporter of what you're doing, no matter what it is, if they're not encouraging you, if they're not telling other people about you, if they're not networking for you, if they're not sharing your stuff and subscribing to your pages or whatever, in whatever kind of way they can support you, if they're not doing that, constructive criticism is meaningless. It's trash. It's really only hate, to be honest with you. It's because of their personal view of you. And hey man, all I can tell you is when you run into that, only give it so much of your attention, only give it so much of your energy, because it will have the ability. I'm gonna tell you, negative energy is actually a bit more compelling, I'd say. I don't want to say more powerful, but it's definitely, it has a stronger pull. Gravity has a stronger pull than to ascend, to go up. It takes more to go up than it does to fall down. You can fall down easy. And so negativity has that same ability. It would drain you fast. It will pull. It would distract you. It will pull you all that fast. So you just have to be careful. And I'm saying, and also for individuals who does that, who feel like their position, they like to give advice, they're not supporting people, whatever, and they don't consider themselves a hater or whatever. And listen, you just have to analyze yourself. Again, if you're not talking good about this person, if you're not promoting this person, if you're not doing anything to the plus of what this person's doing, but you always have some opinion, some constructive opinion about the person. I mean, you gotta really look at the realness of that and reverse it and say, if that was you, if you was on the other side, if you was the one who was sitting over here trying to do something, someone always had something to say. It's like they sitting there watching you fix on the car, clean the house, or whatever, and they're not doing anything, but they want to tell you what you missed. Hey, you missed that. Hey, you need to pick that up, or why you didn't do this. That. Man, are you going to help me at all, or you just want to sit over here and micromanage me? You know, who likes that? You know, because everyone really knows the reason why you're dissettled by it is because you're not here to help. You're not here to further my cause. You're here to hinder me. And whether you understand it or not, whether you're fully in control of it or not, you may be just a vessel that's being utilized by the enemy. You need to get a grip of your vessel. But anyway, that's what I wanted to tell y'all this morning before I get further off into my Sunday, because I have a pretty busy Sunday, and I'm grateful that it's always productive. I'm grateful for every day I'm able to get up and get it together and get it right and become better and evolve, you know, so on and so forth. Peace and blessings, y'all. Peace and blessings. Your Hassan, the children saying, like their minds in the prize. Mr. Shift your perspective.